Hi, kindergarten. This morning we are talking about the 3 ways to read a book. Everyone give me the number 3. So, did you guys know that there's 3 different ways to read a book? I'm gonna tell you the 3 ways. So the first way to read a book is to read the pictures. And you might be thinking, Miss Goodwin, how do I read the pictures? What I mean is that you can look through a book and read the pictures. Looking at them, you can try to figure out what's going on in the story. You gotta be a detective. You gotta put on your detective hat. The second way to read a book is to read the words. And again, you might be saying, Miss Goodwin, I can't read yet. Well, that's okay. I'm gonna read the words to you. And later on in the school year, you'll be able to read the words. And our last way to read a book is by retelling the story. And retelling means that you tell us what happened in the story, but you don't need to tell us everything. Maybe just tell us a few things that happened. So today we're going to be reading the story, If You Give a Moose a Muffin. I love this book. So remember our 3 ways to read a book? The first way is to read the pictures. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna look at, okay, I can see on the cover, I'm reading the pictures. On the cover, if I was looking at it, well, I see a moose and he looks like he's holding some muffins. So that's what I know from the cover. Now let's start seeing. Okay, I'm gonna read the pictures. Well, I know that there's a house over here and it kind of looks like the moose is far away. Maybe he's smelling something from the house. And I know that because I can see this stuff coming from the house. And maybe he's smelling the muffins. I don't know. We'll have to keep looking. So what's happening in these pictures? Well, it looks like he's eating the muffins. I think he might have gone into that person's house and started eating the muffins. Now, I think he wants to try on the little boy's sweater. He wants his own sweater, I think. I'm not sure, but I'm looking at the pictures and I see the boy's putting on a sweater and the moose is kind of looking at him. Maybe he wants the sweater too. Oh, look at this picture. So, in this picture, I see the moose with a sweater, and over here, he's unraveling the sweater maybe, or he might be sewing it. And now he tried on the sweater, because we can see we're reading the pictures and we can see what's happening. And we would keep doing that for the whole book. So if you can't read yet, now you know how to read the pictures. If you can't read the words, I should say. Now you can read the pictures. But now let's actually read the words. If you give a moose a muffin, he'll want some jam to go with it. So you'll bring out some of your mother's homemade blackberry jam. When he's finished eating the muffin, he'll want another, and another, and another. When they're all gone, he'll ask you to make some more. And we said that in this picture, it looked like he was eating a lot of the muffins. We were right. We used our detective clues from reading the pictures. So you'll have to go to the store to get some more muffin mix. He'll want to go with you. When he opens the door and he feels how chilly it is, he'll ask you to borrow a sweater. See, we were right. We said on this page, it seemed like the moose wanted a sweater of himself, and he does. When he puts the sweater on, he'll notice one of the buttons is gone. He'll ask for a needle and some thread. He'll start sewing the button. The button will remind him of the puppets his grandmother used to make. Oh, so he was sewing the sweater. I thought at first maybe he was kind of unraveling it, taking it apart, but he was actually sewing it. So good thing we read the words. So, he'll ask for some old socks. He'll make sock puppets. When they're done, he'll want to put on a puppet show. He'll need some cardboard and some paints. Then he'll ask you to help make the scenery. And scenery means the background, the big picture of what the puppet show is going to be about. When the scenery is finished, he'll get behind the couch, but his antlers will stick out. So he'll ask for something to cover them up. You'll bring him a sheet from your bed. Look at, you can see his antlers. That's so silly. When he sees the sheet, he'll remember he wants to be a ghost for Halloween. He'll try it on and he'll shout, "Boo!" It'll scare him so much, he'll knock over the paints. Uh-oh, that looks like it could be a big mess. So, he'll use the sheet to clean up the mess. Then, he'll ask for some soap to wash it out. Well, at least he wants to help clean up, right? Do you guys help your grown-ups help clean up? I hope so. He'll probably want to hang the sheet up to dry. He'll go outside to put it on the clothesline. When he's out in the yard, he'll see your mother's blackberry bushes. Seeing the blackberries will remind him of her jam. He'll probably ask you for some more jam. And the chances are, if you give him the jam, he'll want a muffin to go with it. That is one of my favorite stories. I love to read it. When I was in kindergarten or a little kid, I loved to read this book, and I loved when my grown-ups read it to me, so I wanted to share it with you. So, we did the 2 of the 3 ways to read a book. We read the pictures and we read the words. The last way is to retell. So remember Miss Goodwin said when we retell a story, we don't say the whole thing. You just say 1 or 2 of the bigger things that happened. So if I was gonna retell a story, if you give a moose a muffin, maybe I would say something like, well, in this story, there's a moose that starts eating muffins, and it reminds him of other things that he likes to do, and every time he does something, it reminds him of something else, and something else, and something else. And finally, he goes all the way back that he remembers that he wants more muffins. See, I didn't say every single thing it reminded him. I didn't say it reminds him of being a ghost. It reminds him of putting on a puppet show. I just says it reminded him of things he likes to do, right? Retelling is kind of hard because we read such cool books that we want to share everything, but we can only share a couple of the things, okay? So we'll keep practicing how the 3 ways to read a book. But now let's talk about how you can read to yourself. How do you think you can read to yourself? So, some of our rules or things that we need to do to make sure that we're reading to ourselves the right way, there's 5 things that we need to do. Give me 5. So, number 1 is we read the whole time. And I want you to show the big whole time because it'll help your brain remember if you do some big arm movements. Number 2 is you read very, very quietly. Shh. Number 3, you sit by yourself. Sit by yourself. Number 4 is to stay in one spot. And number 5 is to follow directions quickly. Can you do all of those things? You are going to read the whole time. You're going to read very quietly. You're going to sit by yourself. You're going to stay in one spot and you're going to follow directions quickly. Those are the 5 things that we need to do every single time we read to ourselves. And every day we're going to practice reading to self, and we're going to do it for a little bit longer every day. So I want you to get 2 books and practice the 3 ways to read a book. Maybe the only way that you can do right now is the first one is read the pictures. You can all do that. You can get a book and you can start looking at the pictures and thinking about what's going on, right? We just did that. We thought that we could know what was going on from reading the pictures. So you're gonna get 2 books and read for 2 minutes. But remember the 5 things that you have to do while you're reading, okay? And then tomorrow, we'll read for 3 minutes, and then 4 minutes, and then 5 minutes, all the way up to 20 minutes. I bet that you can do it. So, good luck with your reading, kindergarten. Please let me know how long you read for today. And maybe you want to tell me what book you read. That would be so cool if you did. Have so much fun with your new books. Thank you for coming to read If You Give a Moose a Muffin with me. I had so much fun. Goodbye.